Boy, I'll tell you, it is something to be here. I am so excited to see some of my old friends. I mean, it is just a tremendous homecoming. And I've got a plan here tonight, and it's all going to work in. There's a certain synergy. And Cliff, you said it best as far as the Aggie Ring, the network, it is so powerful. And I was wondering, how does a guy from Washington, Pennsylvania, get to Texas A&M? I mean, I kept going over my mind. So I'd like to share this story with you. 41 years ago, I got a call from Coach Hank Fulberg, and he goes, phone rings, and he goes, Liptak. I said, yes, sir. He said, this is Coach Fulberg down at Texas A&M. And I went, where? He said, he says, Texas, boy, are you stupid? I said, Coach, what's the temperature? He says, it's 72 degrees. I said, wait a minute. I put the phone on the shelf, went outside, snow was hitting me in the face. I said, Coach, send the ticket today. Send it right now. So I told my parents, I said, I'm going to Texas for a visit. They said, well, hey, you're going to freeze here. You might as well go down there. So I got off that plane in Dallas, Texas, and I saw that big Texas Ranger, and the recruits were there, Coach was there, and he said, boy, we're going to make you a Texan. So they took me right over to Cattleman Steakhouse, and I had not one steak, I ate 2 steaks. So then I got down to A&M, and I got to say this right then, when I got to A&M, you could see it on the kids' faces, you could see it in the coaches, the former students, everybody was really happy and enthused that they went here. And I said, man, this is exciting. I got to be a part of this. This is a tremendous, tremendous feeling. So I just met a lot of Aggies, and one that comes in mind is Dr. Tony Barcelona down in Clear Lake, Aggie vet. And I went down there, met a lot of Aggies there, and they were all concerned about me and what was I going to major in. How did I like the school? I said I loved it, loved the temperature, loved everything. The 2 things they didn't tell me about was the core, and there was no women here. I swear. First day on campus, I went up to a cadet and I said, where's the girls' dorm? That kid fell out. He couldn't believe it. So anyway, I saw Coach Fulberg that afternoon on Sunday, and I said, Coach, hey, I'm your man. I want to sign today. He goes, no, Liptak, you don't understand. We got to see you some more, and then we can't sign you to February. I said, no, I want to be an Aggie today. Today, I'm ready to sign up. So anyway, when that signing date came, February the 10th, I was one of the first ones signed. There's no doubt. And here's the rest of this story. So great visit, went back home, parents were excited. So I start working out. Man, I'm working out, I'm running the hills, because in Washington, Pennsylvania, you got a lot of steel mill and you got a lot of coal miners up there. And they have a lot of slag pits, and you can run up and down these all you want. So I said, man, I am in shape for this football. I'm going to Texas A&M, and I'm gonna just bust it. So parents put me on a train. I got off the train in Hearne, Texas, and it was 110 degrees. Whoa, what happened to the 72? So I said, oh my goodness, I'm gonna die down here. So they had a buddy came by, picked me up, checked me in and everything, and then here we go. Met the coaches, and we're out there working out. It was almost like Junction, but yeah, not as bad. But this heat and humidity was there. So we're doing wind sprints, and Lloyd Currington from Houston, Texas, halfback, boom, he falls out. John Poss from Brownsville, boom, he passes out. I said, whoa, wait a minute. So I saw a tree way down here off the left of the practice field. So I went over, got a towel, put some water on it, put it around my neck, and went over there and sat under the tree. I'm a big-time college football player. I can take a break, right? So Coach Krennick came up. He says, Liptak, what's the matter? I says, hey, it's hot out here. I said, I'm taking 5. I'll be with you. He says, stay right there. don't move. I got to go get Coach Fulberg. So here comes Coach Fulberg with all of his staff. He says, tell Coach what you told me, Liptak. I said, yeah, Coach, it's real hot out here. I'm going to grab a little break, 5 minutes. I'll be back with you. Coach Latham just fell out. He just started laughing so hard. And then it was like a pack of wolves. They got around me, and then it was like in unison. They all went, get your butt up, you idiot! Boom, 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 boom. So I got through that, and that was good. Then I finally graduated, got out and taught school out in Midland, Texas, coached, and then I got into Fort Worth at Pascal High School, coached and taught school there. And I said, God bless teachers, by the way. They are just great people. Do you understand? I mean, man, I just love them. I was having a big open house, and my paycheck was there. And this guy walked in, and he goes, Liptak, is that your paycheck for a week? I said, no, that's a month. He says, damn, son, that's my bar bill up at the country club. And I hated his kid. His kid was an idiot. So I said, man, I got to get into something else. So anyway, I met up with a couple guys that invented the beanbag chair. Really, the beanbag chair. So I started doing this on the side and got with Levitt's Furniture. They really liked that. So I got into the sales management side. I became the youngest branch manager down in Houston. And then, you know anything about the retail business, you're always working. They have big holidays on July 4th, right after Christmas, Memorial Day. I said, this is killing me. I'm working 7 days a week. This is nuts. So I said, I can't see any A&M games. So I said, I got to do something. So all of a sudden, I pick up my Aggie magazine, and there it is. We hire Aggies for Aggies. I'm saved. Right here. I'm saved. I got a magazine. Guy's name was Vic Koenig, had an employment agency. He says, Liptak, I know where to send you. They're looking for a salesman. Barney Gershen and his mom. So I go over there to see them, and man, I am just amazed at his mom's story on how she started out the company. And then Barney, he just got out of A&M, and he was there, and he was president, and we talked and everything, finally cut a deal, and here we are. All of a sudden, I'm with Associated Building Services. I'm loving it. Now, here's the fun part. This is where Barney comes in. Barney... See, Barney will tell you right away. I was up here in 67. He was there in 69. I went to Eastgate Lounge. He went to the library. See, our past didn't change. They never crossed. Okay, you know what I'm saying. So anyway, he said, Liptak, meet me at the Dot Coffee Shop, downtown Houston, 7 a.m. on Monday morning. And I knew this guy had something on the ball because he says, this is what we're going to do. We're going to plan our work and work our plan. It's that simple. Plan our work, work our plan. I said, boy, this is great. And then all of a sudden, we'd finished breakfast. We had about 5 cups of coffee. You know, we're vibrating. We're ready to go. And Barney, I think he was a general in another war or something. You know, I don't know if it was a Civil War or World War II. But then he said he'd start firing out these sayings. Don't fire till you see the whites of their eyes. Tip a canoe and Tyler too. 54-40 or fight. Nuts. I'm going, whoa. So we go out there and we charge the customer. I'm telling you, the customer doesn't have a chance. I mean, they don't. So we saw this one guy, I remember this very distinctly. We came in there, introduced ourselves and everything. The secretary, she says, well, I'll see if Mr. Isaac's in. All of a sudden, he walked around the corner and he goes, oh, no, not you two guys again.